Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It is Tuesday evening. I hope you all had a fantastic Easter weekend. Hopefully you did some rest and relaxation, which I didn't quite go to plan, but we'll get to that later. This evening, I want to talk about priorities and priorities with what's happening with how we budget, what's happening with the government, and where we see our priorities lying. And how that got into my head was yesterday, Patrick and I were going to go out for lunch and do shoppings and stuff, seeing as how we played bingo during the weekend. And I got up in the morning and everything was fine, and then we had to wait to hear back from people. So I went upstairs and decided to rearrange my bedroom. That was not a quick fix, can we just say. So I started, then I had a tea break, and then I went back. And by the time I was just about ready to put the finishing touches to things, like with the hoovering and the dusting and stuff, Patrick messaged saying, "Okay, we're all sorted, you ready to go?" And I was like, "Nope, nope, I'm in the middle of this, I'm not doing it." The bedroom was my priority at the time because I had gone through that. I'd done so much that I just, I wasn't ready to give up at that time. So that was where we left that. So I have the most fantastic bedroom now. But also, when I was looking at things, and I was like, what are, where do we look for the priorities? What are we looking for now? I know with my prepping, my priorities have been the expensive stuff because that's why I got into it in the first place. That's why I filled 2 freezers with reduced meat as much as I could. Then I learned how to pressure can and dehydrate so that I had a stash that was shelf stable. Especially when last year, when there was all the problems with the, are we going to have enough energy? I was like, I need to have things that are going to be okay if I don't have power. So my priority with the prepping was just buy everything that's expensive just now because it's going to get a lot worse in a year's time. And definitely we were correct with that. And when the cost of living crisis started, then the government priorities, which I think quite rightly so, were to help as many people as possible and to help businesses as well. But now that most of the help was finished, I want to know where their priorities are. Because at the moment we don't seem to have heard. I mean, they've both given us, our 5 items or 4 items, these are my priorities. Load of rubbish. That was just a good soundbite at the time as far as I'm concerned. And I noticed at the last general election, I noticed that there was a lot of negativity from one party to the next, and it's starting again with Labour doing their thing just now. And there was a lot of negativity in the SNP leadership election and in the Tory leadership election. And I'm like, my priority is not actually to know what the other party is doing badly. What I would like to know is, what are you going to do to make my life more positive? How are you going to help us get through this? And one of the biggest things that I've thought of is housing. Now, housing, there is just a complete lack of housing getting built, especially social housing, because everything is now affordable housing. And what I call affordable and what the specification of affordable is, it's a completely different matter. Just poles apart. So I'm now wondering, say, well, what are you going to do for me? I don't want to hear how bad the opposition did. I don't want to hear how bad the government did, because I am more than capable of telling you that myself. What I want to know is, what are your plans to improve our lives, to get more housing in, to get costs down? And I mean, best will in the world, even if inflation comes down and interest rates go down, prices are not going to come down as such. They're just not going to go up as fast. See, I have learned things. And what really irks me is where priorities seem to be, like HS2. What is that about? It's over budget, it's behind time. To do what? To shave 10 minutes off the time to get from London to Birmingham on the train. What is the point? I am not seeing that, not for the millions and millions that they're spending. You've also got Sadiq Khan in London. Do not even start me on that ULEZ. I missed a train because of that ULEZ, and we left 2 hours before the train was due to leave for a 1 hour journey. And I still missed it because they had cut off roads. So we couldn't go the normal way. You know, things like emergency services and things, it's costing lives. It's costing people a fortune, you know, £12.50 if you come out your driveway. What is that about? I think people in London would much rather that the mayor prioritised crime and housing, not getting everybody on a push bike or walking everywhere. Because, trust me, there are certain places and certain times you just don't walk about London. I know this. I mean, when they have 2 squaddies doing a Help for Heroes run and the police tell them, do not go through that area, it's not safe for you. What is that about? It's time that they prioritised what we need. So, yeah, that is my thing. There's so many things that I think should be prioritised, and all we're getting is a load of gobbledygook and a load of sound bites. And I think it's time we actually asked our MPs, start asking them now, what are you going to do to make my life better? What are you going to do to make my community safer? What are you going to do to help your constituents? As opposed to, don't tell me how awful they are. Tell me actually what good you can do for your constituency, and then I might consider it. That should be the priorities. So, yes, that's my thing. So, I hope, as I say, I hope you've had a good Easter weekend. I am away to go and now do my foodies thing because I haven't kept it up, but my notepad's here and I'm going to go and sit and plan it out. And I'll do another video tonight with that, but I won't put it up till tomorrow morning. So, yeah, I hope you have a good evening and I'll catch you later.